What you bought? You know what time it is, nigga. Better watch how you step in. Yeah. But that was my niggas. Yeah. I'm in it, yo. Got my nigga Rawan with me. But that was my niggas, it'll be an honor. You know what I'm saying? Under commanding General. Straight off the top, I love all of my niggas. That shit ain't gon' stop till we on top and we ballin', my nigga. We be fly as fuck, you know them bitches be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home, that's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown, I'm in these streets and closed caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my Hakim gon' let him have it. Hey, think you the shit, this truth the shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. Get on them tracks, they be like, who is this? I'm rude with it, ain't got no manners. All them pussy niggas talking shit, yeah, I know they can't stand us, but we UPK Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm reppin'. And my niggas solid number, real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start steppin'. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them, I see them, dap them and hug them. It's amazing to see how well we adapt from the struggle. Born again from a life of sin, trapped in the gutter. My mind frame was to kill my own kind. Feeling inferior, waking up ready to die. Run with them killers, so it's just a matter of time. For why take your life or let you take mine? That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves while the white man live to get old. We in them graves, the shit got me feeling played. I opened the Bible, went through them records, found out we was royalty, a nation to be respected. But in this world we rejected, we hated for our complexion. Still fighting to get accepted, we hear the truth and reject it. But love is getting corrected, and all my niggas correct me. The commandments, the foundation we erected. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Hey, hey. Hey, hey.
¿Qué onda, raza? ¿Qué cuentan o qué? Ya se la saben que aquí teníamos que regresar a cagarle a todos el palo. The Call of War de Monterrey, Nuevo León. Aquí con el mero del campo de México. Yashakar, Pan Yashakar. En asociación con Prophecy Records. Saludos a Yar. Pan Yashakar. Porque ningún perro bastardo opresor nos va a callar, ni silenciar, ni censurar. Aquí vamos a decir lo que es la pura neta del planeta, homies. Sin misericordia va a caer Babilonia. Te cuento esta historia aunque tu tiempo demora. Hoy por mis carnales tengo un chingo de cora, pero hace mucho tiempo los vergueaba por $1. El morro más callado era un peligro andando en el barrio vagando, donde el diablo bastardo, un tiro al perro le canto y obviamente lo espanto. Gritos al pelea, sabes que me la pelas, la neta, resisto hasta la meta. Gringos cierren la venta porque ahorita están oyendo las palabras de un profeta. Con el conocimiento que practico siempre me mantengo alerta y al grito de guerra.
Con mi cohete en mi mano, ya llegaron los mexicanos. Se te hace extraño y te hace daño. En domingas caigo balas en el caño y seguimos con esta rima, percibiendo que la muerte se aproxima en todo barrio y toda esquina. Este infierno nunca termina, y es la escuela israelita, donde toda profecía se explica. Y la guerra es con estos blancos, los que cazan nuestros pastos. Se oyen balazos por toda zona. Esta guerra no es una broma, y tu vida ellos la toman. Bienvenidos a Babilonia.
Is that Dee on the beat?
Purchase your tracks today.
Delincuentes, patos que te traen la muerte, ojo por ojo, y diente por diente, y que sepas, patos con metralletas, y hacemos lo posible que tu muerte sea muy lenta, neta. Andamos en camionetas y pa' todo enemigo mi pistola es hecha, caile, para echarte un pinche baile, balas en el aire haciendo un desmadre, sitios donde yo me compromiso, controlando la calle y todo pinche vicio, te aviso, somos otro pinche rollo, tu cuerpo enterrado en el pinche rodo y borro tu vida de este mundo, todo se te acaba en solo unos segundos, profundo. Te llegarán mis balas al puto que se meta y todo otro chavala. Nosotros somos escuela israelita, conocimiento, plato, sal.
Power of manifest destiny. It can already be understood as an act of destruction.
Tú eres un hombre hispano, negro, indio nativo, tu lugar es aquí con nosotros. Nosotros somos tu verdadera familia. Deja de seguir la costumbre de nuestros opresores y toda otra maldita nación. Tú eres Israel, nosotros somos la escuela israelita de conocimiento práctico universal. Órale.
Yeah. Salaki, sir, can you hear me?
Hey, Shalom, Mike. You with the kind I can hear you.
Kaka, Most High in Christ. Hey, what's going down, Israel? Kubale Rasa, we're here another night. You know, this is a special episode. Well, I don't want to use the term special episode, but you know, given the story that I just came across, I figure, you know, we go live and you know, talk about what's going on, man. Raza, if you don't know, man, now is the high time to awake out of sleep. You understand? Now is the high time to wake out of sleep and pay attention to what's going on, to what's happening, man. As you see, the title of tonight's, you know, episode is U.S. Supreme Court lifts limits on ICE raids. So, like, sir, I don't know if you heard too much about this. Oh, it might be. Sorry, I don't want like
Go ahead, Lama. Go ahead. It's like,
no, so like, sir, I know you heard about this whole story about the U.S. Supreme Court ruling on you know lifting the limits off ICE.
oh yeah, I was seeing that today. I seen the article. I seen a couple articles on it today.
Kind.
So pretty much what they're saying is that, like, pretty much they can just pretty much racial profile you. You know, you speaking Spanish, you look Hispanic, brown, whatever, you look Latino, they can just, you know, snatch you up,
Right.
and then whether you're a citizen, non-citizen, that doesn't matter. You know, if you're a citizen, they'll just get you, and then they'll find out later if you're a citizen or not.
That is
You know?
crazy, man.
But yeah, we're all in the same boat. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna go right back at it. So I guess they were trying to say that it was on pause for a little bit, the whole ICE raids. Well, I don't know if they was on pause. Maybe it wasn't on pause, but they were saying that they couldn't target, you know, like the car washes and the Home Depots. You know, I guess they were trying to make that illegal for them to do that. So that, I guess that was on pause. And today it was it was uplifted. Like, pretty much they got the green light to do it again.
So that's crazy. So I have the story right here. I was hearing about that. My rib broke it down to me. You know that, yeah, as you said, it's the green light for ICE to you know basically got the green light to racially profile you. I mean, that I just played a story real quick. I'm gonna share right now, but basically they were saying like, oh, whoever we runs, we're gonna go after, you know. And then, of course, they're trying to claim that they're not racially profiling people, that it's misinformation. But in the same breath, you're saying you're not going to go after people who, you know, who just for how they look. But if they run, you're going to go after them, you know. So, yeah, that just lets me know some, you know. Because I'm going to share the article.
Ruling that clears the way for the Trump administration to restart sweeping ICE raids. Thank you. Back to our top story. The Supreme Court handing down that 6-3 ruling that clears the way for the Trump administration to restart sweeping ICE raids across Los Angeles. Paul Perez is here now to react. National Border Patrol Council President. Paul, your reaction first to this ruling.
Yeah, this is great for our agents, but it's even better for the citizens of California and our country, because it's going to move the impediment of us allowing to go after these criminals that are all over the country. And so it's really great news. Our agents are very well trained. They undergo a very rigorous academy that's both mentally and physically demanding, where we study constitutional law, immigration law, and criminal law. And so they know exactly what they're doing. This only is going to help us do the job a lot better.
And Paul, DHS reacting to this ruling, they say in part, quote, "This is a win for the safety of Californians and the rule of law. DHS law enforcement will not be slowed down and will continue to arrest and remove the murderers, rapists, gang members, and other criminal illegal aliens that Karen Bass continues to give safe harbor." Paul, what this ruling is essentially going to do is allow Border Patrol, your men and women, to use location, job type, physical appearance.
So, like, sir, I pause there. You heard what he said, right? That you heard who he's claiming he wants to target.
Right. He's saying the criminals, rapists, gangbangers.
So like, sir, just in my head, you know, why does that sound familiar?
That's what. What do you mean? That's what Donald Trump said?
Right, exactly. That's exactly what Donald Trump started his whole campaign with. I mean, his whole speech, and I'll get that clip like where he said, right, some of them are bringing crime, some of them are bringing, some of them are rapists, they're
But
criminals, and then he said, I believe some are good people, implying that majority are criminals and are bad. Go ahead, sir, Salaki.
no, I'm gonna say they put a Hispanic up there.
Khan,
What is it? Paul Perez.
Good night,
Paul
man.
Perez. You got just some Mexican out there saying, "Oh yeah, this is good for our country." You know what I'm saying? We're getting all the game bangers, criminals, and rapists, but it's crazy, man. Because like, where are you going to get the gang bangers at? Like when I see the ICE raids, because I see all the ICE raids on social media,
Right,
and
sir.
none of them are even gang bangers. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you ain't seen fucking Florence, you ain't seen 18, MS-13, like you know how they look, bald headed fools tatted up and everything like that. I ain't seen none of that.
Right.
Every single time I see an ICE raid or I see someone getting picked up, it's always some brother working, at the car
Right.
wash or at Home Depot. You know what I mean? So, but it's crazy like how they they keep saying that the whole gangbanger and criminal rapist and all that. And come to
Right,
find
sir.
out too, it's funny how they're saying that, but one of the ICE agents was just like with the same story brought up the other day. One of
Right.
the ICE agents were just caught in the fucking bathroom trying to damn near harass a female cop.
Right.
You know what I mean? How
Right,
come
sir.
how come they didn't speak up on that? How come they didn't speak up on their own people who were doing that, who were harassing cops at a bar? It was at a fucking bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it's
that's
like, go ahead,
crazy.
Malama.
Now that's heavy you say that, sir, because you talk about busting criminals. I mean, that you got that one ICE agent that was busted at that bar, and yet majority of the people getting busted in these ICE raids with all the videos going on are not criminals. You understand? A lot of these people are not criminals that are getting busted. Kilmar, right? Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who they want to send to Uganda, the country of Edawani or Uganda. They try to say that his smiley face tattoo was a gang tattoo, man. And it just comes to show you how simple this oppressor is, man, how dumb they are, that they'll try to, go through so many crazy extents to push their lies, so to make it seem like they're right. But the fact that, you're going to say a smiley face is a gang tattoo, the people that are getting busted are not, criminals. Like once we said this in the last show, right? Y'all claim that you're trying to stop people that are criminals. Y'all trying to stop the freeloaders. Y'all trying to make the country safer. Meanwhile, the ICE agent is a U.S. citizen, and he went in there. Who knows what he was trying to do to that woman in the bathroom? He even pulled out his firearm on her. There was a story that I believe Afsar Shkawar shared on the Hollywood TikTok page where they busted a predator, and this was a so-called white man. So how are you trying to make the country safer by targeting us?
Another thing too, Malama, he just said they're trained professionals. They go through all this training. Right. I seen one video where it's one Issachar, that brother like 5 feet tall, and it took 10 of them to take him down.
Good.
They're all
nice,
rushing
man.
and pushing him against the fence, and the brother's holding on to the fence, and like, you know what I mean? He got all these ICE agents trying to take him down. Like they don't know what the hell they're doing. They look like they ain't got no training. Like they hired a bunch of cowboys to do that shit,
Right. God, I'm gonna play a little bit more of this video. Yeah, that is exactly what they are, sir. Cowboys. It's like, remember the video of the how they were attacking the Haitians? They were on horseback with the cowboy hats with the whips. Like, right. That's exactly what that's where they want to take it back to. But I'll play a little bit more of this video. I found a second article too.
Spanish speaking as some of the factors when making arrests. Why are those factors important to use?
Those are all considered articulable facts.
Whoa, hold on.
All our
those factors important: location, job type, physical use to give safe.
So Salaki, sir, I stopped it right there. But look at what they're gonna say.
harbor. Paul, what this ruling is essentially going to do is allow Border Patrol, your men and women, to use location, job type, physical appearance, Spanish speaking as some of the factors when making arrests. Why are those factors important to use?
Those are all considered articulable facts. You know, all our agents.
I'm gonna stop there right there. Right, he's saying that they're calling your appearance, you speaking Spanish, your location, your job title as articulable facts in order to target you, Raza. That's what they're saying. And he just admitted it. And then in the same breath, when they're admitting it, they deny it. This is why we call the oppressor the devil, the Bible speaks of, because they tell you bluntly to your face, and then at the same time, try to make it seem like it's not that.
Damn right.
Like I caught
you can't. You damn near can't even speak Spanish.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's an articulable fact.
They gon'
like what's that even? What's that
but
word
look,
mean?
here,
Go ahead, sir.
But like you gotta think about this too. Like, you know, like the way we live out here. We live out here in fucking like LA County, San Bernardino County. You know, a lot of Iscrites, what they do, they like bumping corridos, like bumping Hispanic music. You know, like, and so if you out there bumping that music, that's like damn near probable cause for them to pull you over. You know what I mean? A lot of us like throwing parties.
Right.
Throwing parties, and then you're having the, you know, Los Tucanos de Tijuana. You know, all those fucking music, all the songs that we usually play.
Right.
Like all that's gonna come to an end because if you start playing this music, they're gonna go straight to your house, and then, you know, like I said, it is you know what I'm saying? It's like probable cause to harass you, pull you over, you know, take you. They don't want, like, you know what I'm saying? All of that is gonna get you arrested.
Right, sir. For anyone tuning in, I know it's a late night show, but if you happen to tune in, I put a link. If anyone wants to join, to come up with a question or a comment, if you want to give your opinion on the matter, whether you're in favor of this or not in favor, you know, by all means, come on up and let it be known. But, you know, this is crazy that he's just saying that. And then I looked up what an articulable fact is, the definition right here, right? It says an articulable fact is a specific objective detail that can be clearly explained or stated, providing a concrete basis for suspicion of criminal activity. So what's that? Basically, what they're trying to say is that you speaking Spanish is a suspicion of criminal activity. You looking Mexican is a suspicion of criminal activity. And then it says, rather than just a hunch or gut feeling, it says police officers must be able to articulate such facts to justify actions like a brief stop or investigation under legal standards, such as a reasonable, articulable suspicion. So what he's basically saying, right? I'll rewind it back. Let me go back.
Some of the factors when making arrests. What to do is allow give safe harbor. Paul, what this ruling is essentially going to do is allow Border Patrol, your men and women, to use location, job type, physical appearance, Spanish speaking as some of the factors when making arrests. Why are those factors important to use?
So let me say this real quick. This is why, as I said, why the oppressor is the devil. He's saying these are some of the factors, trying to make it seem like it's not really going to be like that. But yet, look at what the Border Patrol agent says right here.
Those are all considered articulable facts. You know, all our agents and officers are trained on how to
speaking Spanish, physical appearance. Those are articulable facts. Looking Latino, looking Mexican, to them is going to be an articulable fact. Like Officer Laha brought out, you bumping corridos, you know, driving your mamilona down the street. That's going to be an articulable fact to them, man. When y'all get together on a Saturday night, you know, for you know, the quince or your you know, your son's first year birthday party, and you're bumping music, best believe in their eyes, they're going to call it an articulable fact. And what is an articulable fact? It's a specific or clearly objective detail that can be clearly explained or stated, providing a concrete basis for a suspicion of criminal activity. rather than just a hunch or gut feeling, right? So basically, you like all those things that we do as a people is a what is it? It's suspicion of criminal activity. You just existing in America, Raza, is suspicion of criminal activity to this country.
Being Mexican is a criminal. Being Mexican is criminal, you know.
Sir. Shit, let me keep playing.
Testify to everything that we do. We understand that all the actions that we take may wind up having us sit in front of a judge and explaining our actions, because every defendant has the right to counsel, and most of these attorneys are going to try to suppress evidence or suppress the stuff.
So that's another thing, right? When he says, Sir Salah, he said every defendant has a right to counsel. What does that mean? They got a right to court?
I believe so. Come on.
And then they're not even doing that. It's like they definitely not giving you a court date when they're busting you out the streets, right? When they're pulling up on you and snatching you up, like while you're at work, while you're on your way to pick up your kids, they're not even giving you a chance to go to court, right? They're sending you to Alligator Alcatraz. They're sending you, to Uganda.
Man, bro, like there's a lot of people missing too.
Right.
A lot of people are going missing. But what I was hearing was that, like, so you get so if you're in LA, they put you on a bus and they ship you out Northern California, and from Northern California, they ship you out to Texas, and the people in Texas, they get shipped out to Cali. You know what I mean? And they make sure that you don't get your phone calls. You can't call nobody.
Sir.
You know what I mean? So it's damn near you, like, you know what I mean? You go missing. You don't know where your aunt or your uncle or your brother or sister is at. And then so like later on down the year or 2 years later, you get a phone call talking about, I was in the ICE detention center in Texas or in Cali.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
No, that's crazy, sir. So I mean, it's like, once again, he's lying to you. I mean, and real quick, the general broke this down earlier in the scripture breakdown class, right? But I figured we share this precept real quick while we're here. I'm gonna go to Psalms 55 and 20. Because this is exactly, what's being demonstrated. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 20. He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. Raza, us just living we really live in peace. You understand? We don't bother nobody. We just mind our own business. We go to work. We spend time with our family. We're a family oriented people. You know what I mean? We go celebrate, have go party and whatnot. But we don't bother nobody, man. We don't go try to create chaos and all that as they try to portray it. Yet this oppressor wants to label us criminals, wants to label us, the way we exist with our quote unquote Latino culture as an articulable fact. They do all that so that they can come and stop us and lock us up.
I can tell you too that it's correct right there. Whatever he is, Paul Perez, like, he know that.
Concert.
Like, he know damn well that these cats that they're putting inside cages are not gangbangers and criminals.
Right, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Do we have gangbangers and criminals and cartels inside our nation and race? Damn right we do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We'd be lying if we said we didn't.
Concert.
But one thing we do know is that the people that they're picking up are not cartel members and are not gangbangers. Look, the gangbangers today look like Edgars. I don't see no Edgars getting picked up. The little funky haircut and the dirty dress.
Right.
There ain't no one getting picked up. You know what I'm saying? And for sure the cartel, goddamn, ain't no cartel at no damn Home Depot and Walmart and construction.
Right.
Come on, man. But I'm saying, like, he know that.
Concert.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a shame that brother he would go on television or he would side with them, become an ICE agent, Border Patrol agent, and then willingly go up there and say, yeah, we're getting all the criminals and gangbangers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, it's like
Nah, concert. Nah, that's heavy you say that because that's exactly what it is, And there, as I stated right there, there was I done lost my train of thought, but there was a story, like not a story, but a comment earlier, right? That it says that it was obviously an oppressor commenting on the TikTok on one of the reels we shared, but when I had made the statement that if we're here to freeload off this country, why are y'all busting us at places of employment? Why are y'all, going after our people while they're at work at a Home Depot, while they're going to drop off their kids at school? Y'all not busting our people at the welfare office. Y'all not busting our people, out there in front of liquor stores selling drugs. You stopping them while they're on their way to work, while they're looking for work, while they're taking care of their kids. If that's what we truly are, and this devil says that they're working to go that they're staying, they're abusing the system and sending the money back to Mexico to fund the cartel.
that's so stupid, bro. It's laughable. Because we know damn well that's not what it is. Like, we say this shit all the time. Issachar, Zebulon, Asher, they come over here, they work 2 or 3 slaveries, pay their house, pay their car, and then still send money back to Mexico or Central America, Salvador, Guatemala. You know what for? To build another house over there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're trying to build a house over there because they're saving. They want to build a house, and when they retire, they retire in Mexico and Central America. Almost all of them do that. You know what I'm saying? They're hustling 2 jobs. You know what I'm saying? To save up for retirement. So it's laughable that he would say that. That he's probably just trolling, because I guarantee that's not true. What he said? What, that they're working over here to send money to the cartel?
To send money to the cartels. Like I responded back, right? I said, well, you know what? Maybe it's this. How about maybe if you European Americans would stop abusing substances and went and got help, maybe the cartels would cease to exist. I mean, that's a crazy idea. I got a crazy idea for you oppressors out there, man. Why don't y'all just say no? Why don't y'all get off drugs, man? Stop taking drugs, and maybe then the cartels will cease to exist. What do you tell us? Why are you blaming other people for your problems?
Right.
Because this is obviously what it is, man. Y'all blame other people for your problems, man. But you tell us in the same breath we shouldn't do that. And that lets me know something, that no one plays a bigger victim than your oppressors. No one is a hypocrite or acts more entitled than your oppressors, man. Pick yourselves up by your bootstraps. You understand? And like and what's her name? Nancy Reagan. Like Nancy Reagan said, just say no. Say no to the high-end party drugs, to that lifestyle. Just say no. Say no to the meth, white man. Say no to the oxy, what is it? Oxy, fentanyl, all that. Say no to those things. And maybe then you will stop creating a market for the cartels. You know what will also happen when y'all stop taking drugs? Maybe then everyone else will stop taking drugs. Every other ethnicity group would probably stop, because everyone that's living a life of wickedness out here in this country is copying y'all. They learned it from y'all. To take drugs and party and live a life of crime, that's American culture. That is not our culture. That's not the culture of indigenous people, of Latinos, of Black people. That's your culture, white man. That's your culture, European American. That's your lifestyle. That's the American dream right there. What's he call it in that movie, sir? Cocaine's America's Cup of Coffee. That's American.
Right.
Y'all understand? So yeah, y'all should just get off the drugs, man, and stop taking them, and maybe then the cartels will cease to exist.
Damn right. You know what I'm saying? And then they were talking about it earlier on the radio show, which is Comanche John's radio show.
Right.
Like, we were talking about how, like, in Chicago, who were like the biggest gangsters in Chicago before the Gangsters Disciples and the Vice Lords and all that.
Right.
He had John Gotti, Al Capone, and all of them. You know, they were the ones doing the drive-bys and selling all the drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Them
sir.
cats were murderers, rapists, and thugs. You know what I'm saying? And those cats get glorified in America. They make movies out of them. You know what I mean? But like, you know, it's right when you're white. But
Right.
like, you know, when we do it, we become the villain. You know what I mean? But it is wrong to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like what you were just saying right now, that's not our culture. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not what we do. But we picked it up from them. Living here,
Right, sir.
being amongst them, you know, we became just like them. The only thing is, like, the difference is that you're going to prison for 100 years, and then you're become the villain, but they get glorified. You know what I'm saying? They get glorified. They get movies out of it. You know what I'm saying? And they're not looked at as the villain.
And that's crazy because, you know, to back up what you're saying, sir, you know, it's evident because what does every cholo, what does every Crip or Blood like to nickname themselves? And every Black or Hispanic hood, well, what do you have? What's a common nickname that a gang member will have?
Capone,
right? Bugsy. What's another one? La M. What are they calling themselves? Just not the Mexican Mafia. Mafia, I'm pretty sure, is an Italian. Even for those who know about it, they modeled themselves after the Italian mob. And that's known. That's common knowledge. I'm not saying something that's not known, right? So that just lets you know. What else, man? There's so many. Just the nicknames. Bugsy, Capone,
Lucky,
Lucky
Luciano.
Lucky Luciano. Calling yourself a mob. A lot of y'all like rocking Tommy guns. The way y'all dress in the attire with the suit and the hat, y'all got that from this oppressor, from the European Americans. Even the whole red versus blue thing. Look at the government. Red versus blue, Republicans versus Democrat. You understand? That comes from them. And we, that is not for us. But I believe the general broke it down that's the reason why is because we make it look so good because, of course, we're the salt of the earth. So anything we do, right, it'll stand out. But concert, I'm gonna play some more on this video. Salagia.
Stop. And in this case, it allows us to use those articulable facts to establish the reasonable suspicion or the probable cause to effect an arrest. So we know what we're doing. This only allows us to do it. And it
Salakia. So he's saying we know what we're doing. Use terms like reasonable suspicion, articulable facts, basically to justify racially profiling us. As you see, the whole time he's talking about it, they're harassing a lady selling aguas on the side of the road.
All right.
Takes into account all of those factors that you mentioned.
Paul, what does this ruling mean for?
So like, and that's another thing, right? And it goes back to the scripture, right? It says he had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. Right, all the promises that were made, right, that this oppressor was not going to steal the land, that they were going to give Mexicans, free travel across the border, they were going to, they're not going to racially profile, which is they're admitting they're doing it, But here's the other part to the next verse, right, to Psalms 55 and 21. It says, the words out of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart, right? They're talking about they know what they're doing and whatnot, but war's in their heart. And where's the proof? The proof is that him putting his hands against such as be at peace with him, and then war was in his heart. Look at how. Let me go back to the picture. Look, here's the proof that scripture fits us. Look at this, Rasa. They're in full tactical gear, ready for war against such that be at peace with them, right? The street vendor is at peace with them, man. Telling me this is the threat right here. This is the threat right here. This is where they have to be in full tactical gear with rifles. This is a clear demonstration of him putting his hands forth against such that be at peace with thee. You know, and then the words out of his mouth were smoother than butter. He's using smooth words, articulable facts, reasonable suspicion, you know, and then at the same time saying these are some factors, right, as to the night, and we're gonna get more into it.
Probable cause to effect an arrest. So we know what we're doing. This only allows us to do it, and it takes into account all of those factors that you mentioned.
Paul, what does this ruling mean for ICE sweeps in other American cities like Chicago?
It's great because, again, it allows us to do exactly what President Trump said he was going to do, which is remove these criminals. We know they're operating. I mean, there's millions across the country, so it's not going to be only in Chicago. Anywhere we decide to go, we're going to be successful because of the amount of illegal immigrants that were allowed into this country under the 4 years of the Biden administration. So it's going to be good for us to be able to go out there and use this ruling to apprehend more people that should not be in the country.
And Paul, you might remember back in August, LA Mayor Karen Bass took a little bit of a victory lap when that lower court first blocked what ICE and Border Patrol were doing out here. Here's what she said at the time, quote, "Los Angeles stood strong and we won. You can't just snatch people off the streets based on appearance. The court knows that. The people know that. And now this."
So, of course, this is Mayor Karen Bass saying you can't snatch people off the streets based on appearance. The court knows that. The people know that. And now this administration knows that. Look at what he's going to say next.
Administration knows that. Well, the Supreme Court has now ruled against Los Angeles, at least for now, while the underlying merits of the case play out. But that's been the criticism, Paul, is that Border Patrol is just going out there and just snatching anybody who looks Latino to them out here in Southern California. What has really been happening?
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, the fear-mongering and the rhetoric, the false rhetoric.
They just call that fear-mongering and false rhetoric when he just admitted and called it an articulable fact. And, you know, that, you know, the speaking Spanish and your appearance, right, that's what they use to go, quote unquote, go after the criminals.
Right.
So in the same breath, Salaki, sir.
No, you got it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, right, he's in the same breath he's saying, and now he's saying that it's fear-mongering. Now they turn it into something political, you know, saying that Karen Bass, right, that, oh, it's just the Democrats spreading fear. Oh, it's these liberals. That's the problem. Once again, those are those smooth words, right, that says the words out of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So at the same time he's saying all that, you know, they got their swords drawn. They got war in their heart, Raza. So that should let you know what time it is. This oppressor, what he's really saying is he's ready to wage war on the Raza. And is using terms like immigration, using the history, you know, of what they done on how to obtain this land. You know, they say they conquered the land instead of stealing it. That's the smooth words. And rewrote the history to make it seem like they're the good guys and we're the bad guys. And with that, we deserve to be in jail and, you know, we deserve to have our family split up and our loved ones snatched up. That's what they're really saying. So, like, sir.
Nah, man, you absolutely right. You absolutely right. But, you know, with everything going on, like this is, of course, this is a wake-up call. A wake-up call, which is what, like, no matter how much you thought you were part of this country, how much you love this country does not love you. You know what I'm saying? This is not your nation. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
And you know, of course, like before all of this, before Trump, like a lot of Latinos supported this country, supported America, you know, voted, you know, church,
right.
all of that. And now they're just throwing it in your face now, showing you that, you know, this, you know, you're not part of our nation, you're not part of our country.
Right.
Now, with that being said, like, man, how many Latinos are going to celebrate Halloween? You know what I'm saying? This coming Halloween, how many Latinos are going to support Halloween and support Thanksgiving and Christmas. This year, there should be no Hispanics celebrating Christmas and Halloween and Thanksgiving. You know, this year everybody should be like, nah, we gonna cancel this. We gonna cancel Christmas and Thanksgiving this year and cancel.
Right.
You trying to throw us in cages? Then now we ain't gonna support your holidays.
Right.
You know, what I mean, we had to cancel. They got to cancel September 15th.
Right, sir.
You know, Mexican independence, that's canceled now. You
What
ain't gonna see all
independence?
the parades no more. You ain't gonna see the parades and the the feast right there. Where we at? Was that park that we go to? Not the park, but Placita Vera.
Right.
Yeah, that's gonna be canceled this year. Placita
Concert.
Vera, you know, and all the all the feasts that we usually have on September 15th. That's gonna be canceled this year because of everything that's going on. But are you gonna celebrate Thanksgiving this year? Are you gonna celebrate Christmas? Like, come on. And you know what? You know what the sad thing is? Some people are gonna celebrate Christmas.
Right, sir.
You know, like we're not even we're gonna take away the Bible for a minute. Like, just take away for a minute, and you should not celebrate Christmas, not because okay. I'm not trying to say not because of the Bible, but I'm just saying you should not celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving because of what they're doing to you. You know, what this nation is doing to our people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why you should cancel it. But, you know, as stubborn as our people are, they still gonna do it. They still gonna celebrate the Christmas and Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
Nah, that's heavy you say that, sir, because it's like you gonna celebrate Christmas. Best believe when you go to that mall or that department store, who do you think is gonna be waiting in the parking lot?
Right.
Who do you think is gonna be waiting for you? You know, when you go grocery shopping for that Thanksgiving dinner, you know, in the supermarket. I best believe ICE is gonna be waiting right there. Best believe ICE agents are gonna be right there, and don't be surprised when you see videos of families, you know, loved ones getting, you know, taken and abducted while they're Christmas shopping, while they're Thanksgiving shopping, while you're out there on Black Friday. When you're waiting in the park, don't be surprised if ICE is right there waiting for you, you know, trying to get you. You think you're gonna go buy a TV at a good price. Meanwhile, you know, you about to get, you know, abducted and taken and sent to where they make the TVs. You understand?
You think you're gonna be in the Christmas spirit and the holiday spirit. And these cats ain't gonna give a fuck about no holiday spirit, no Christmas spirit. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be in that vibe of, oh, let's go get the gifts and all that.
Right.
And they're gonna be in the vibe of, yeah, you're gonna get taken, you know? You're like, you know what I mean? That's how they gonna feel. So for us as a people, we should be like, all right, now this year we cancel it, doing it. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Concert, no, that's heavy. Salakia. I'm you know, like it's just like I said, I would not be surprised, sir. I see more of those stories, like more. You're gonna see a lot more, and it's already bad enough because every day it's someone getting, you know, every day you see a video online of someone getting taken, and heartbreaking. And, you know, we just had that situation at court. Outside of, you're not even safe to go to court, sir. That's how wild this situation is. You're not safe to go to court to get your situation fixed. You understand? Y'all not safe to go to court. They waiting for you right there. So what does that tell us, man? You know? It's like it. Let me continue.
So our agents they're enforcing immigration law as it is on the books. You know, these are targeted enforcement actions. You know, we use a number of factors.
Salakia. He and once again, that's the smooth words, right? The words softer than the oil. He said we're enforcing the laws on the books, but on the books it says that you have a right to counsel, you have a right to court, and at this, how are you able to obtain that right if the moment they take you and arrest you, they keep you locked up, right, without access to you know to the outside world, and then they send you to you know to the Seco prison in El Salvador, or they send you to Uganda.
Gun.
You know, you see how they lie boldly to your face.
To determine where we're going to go and who we're going to go after. And many of these people, they run as soon as our agents and officers get there. So that as well is an articulable fact that can be used for reasonable suspicion. And we can go after them, we can chase them down, and then our investigation begins to determine whether this person's legally or illegally in the country. And then we take them into custody based on, the answers that they give. So, Karen Bass and those other Democrats that are demonizing our agents.
Like, sir, I had to stop it right there because, as you see, he's saying they're going to go after people who run. And, let me rewind that back real quick.
Based on, the answers that they give. So, Karen Bass and those other Democrats that are demonizing our agents, they need to stop because it makes it a lot more dangerous. Begins to determine whether this person's as soon as our agents and officers get there. So that as well is an articulable fact that can be used. We use a number of factors to determine where we're going to go and who we're going to go after. And many of these people, they run as soon as our agents and officers get.
I wanted to stop that and catch that, right? Because you remember what was being shared online, like how they were saying, like, start running, y'all. If you see an ICE van driving by, start running to distract them from getting your people. Now
Right.
what he's saying is they're gonna ask questions and they're gonna they're gonna have to do things to determine whether this person is undocumented or not. What it sounds like he's saying is that if you run trying to help those people, they're gonna take you regardless. They're gonna take long to determine whether you're undocumented or documented. They're gonna they're gonna do their investigation to find out who you are. So basically saying that they can take you away and snatch you up as
Right.
well. Doesn't matter if you're born here or not, they're gonna take you regardless. And especially basically saying you better not even try to help your people. That's what it sounds like to me, Salakia.
There. So that as well is an articulable fact that can be used for reasonable suspicion. And we can go after them, we can chase them down, and then our investigation begins to determine whether this person's legally or illegally in the country. And then we take them into custody based on, the answers that they give. So, Karen Bass and those other Democrats that are demonizing our agents, they need to stop because it makes it a lot more dangerous for our agents to do the job that they were trained and swore to do.
All right, Paul Perez, thanks so much for joining us on the Breaking News. Appreciate it.
Paul Perez, huh? That of course, right, sir. Like you said, that's who they use, right? To like once again, to try to make it seem like it is not racist, to try to make it seem like it's not to target a specific group. But we can bring out the facts. You understand? We can bring out the information that shows who's being targeted by these raids, who's being targeted by immigration laws, who's being targeted by the process. The information's there. You can use your Google machine and look it up. I brought this out in a previous episode, and and of course I can show it right now. But it's just crazy.
God, man, and you know what? Here's another thing. Sidebar, real quick. Like, what's up with all the Latino pastors, man? Like, what are they saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to know what your local church is saying. Like, the church that your grandma go to, the church that my grandma go to, church that my aunts and that they go to. What are they saying? You know what I mean? What do they say about everything that's going on?
Oh, Salaki, sir. That's a good question. That's
a real question though. Like, right. I want to know what the hell are they saying. Like, what's their?
I haven't heard anything.
I haven't heard anything either. But I can't imagine. Like, I take a good guess on what they're saying.
That's my question, sir. What's the apologist's stance on this? Right? What are you Christian apologists out there? You Catholics? That are, talk about God loving everybody, treating everyone equally and with respect. What is y'all take on this? Right? I've seen Christians say, right? White Christians say that, oh, well, it's okay because, what did Christ say? Christ said to obey the laws of the land. So basically saying that, God is okay with it because, the laws of the land, sir.
God damn.
That's wild. So basically saying that the Christian church is in agreement with this. For any Christian listening, please, by all means, come and break it down. Do you agree with what ICE is doing? That would be my question to y'all. Do y'all agree with this? You understand? Because how does this justify? Y'all say Christ would say, let's obey the laws of the land. But isn't there also a verse that says we ought to obey God rather than man? You know, you think God would be in favor, you know, since y'all believe in an all-loving, all-righteous God, you think that God would be okay with y'all, you know, kidnapping people, taking someone's father away from their families, making them go into what is it, using them as alligator bait and alligator Alcatraz? You think God would be okay with that? The all-loving God that y'all believe in? You understand, sir? Like that'd be my question. Like, how does Christianity tie in with this? Because I haven't heard one pastor say anything. I haven't seen the churches take a stand. I haven't seen, you know, no spiritual leaders say anything. The only people I know that say something are the ISUPK, is Commanding General Yohana, you know, but no one else says anything. Everyone's quiet.
Damn right. You know what I mean? I just imagine they say to pray. That's probably what they leave you with. You know, just say a prayer real quick. You know what I mean? You know, solution, nothing. You know, they just in there, you know what I mean, holding hands and praying, and, you know, that's what you're left with. You know what I'm saying? That's soon they'll end up going inside that same church too. Go inside those churches and start taking people.
Sir, that, like, you know, it's like, at one point do you say, you know, do you take a stand? And really, like, I really would like, really, Lord allow a Christian comes up in here and breaks it down. I want to know their stance. I honestly want to know a Christian stance on this. Do you agree with it or do you disagree? Because I know a lot of Christians voted for Donald Trump. A lot of Christians love America. A lot of Christians support, you know, obeying the law and all that, and fine, right? So break down how this goes with, this is not against Christ. And then to anyone else that voted for Trump, tell me how this is not racist. You understand? Like, go ahead, sir.
What else you got? You got another clip or something?
Sir, I have another clip lined up. Let me get to.
Supreme Court has given federal agents the green light to stop and detain individuals based on where they work, the color of their skin, and for speaking Spanish. I'm Priscilla Lara, your neighborhood reporter, and while some are calling this decision a significant victory for the Trump administration, others are saying it's an attack on the community.
So like, sir, real quick, I missed that part too, right? Allowing ICE agents to racially profile Latinos is a victory for him. What does that speak to us, you know?
Say it again. I saw it was a little delay.
Nah, no sweat. I said, you know, I missed that part. It says that that the Supreme Court ruling in this favor is a victory for the Trump administration. You understand? So what does that say? You know, like that goes back to them waging war on us.
Right.
You know?
Estoy de acuerdo porque somos, no, yo pienso que no es bueno que nos discriminen a nosotros los hispanos.
I don't agree with the ruling. I don't think it is right for them to discriminate against us Hispanics because of our skin color, where we work, or because we don't speak English. We simply come to this country to work and help our families.
Maria Cruz, who lives in Arvin, is one of the several residents who doesn't agree with the Supreme Court ruling announced Monday. The 6-3 decision allows immigration agents to stop and detain people off the streets of Southern California based on how they look, the language they speak, where they are, or the work they do. This decision is seen as a victory for the Trump administration's immigration enforcement, as it allows ICE to carry out roving patrols in areas like car washes and Home Depot parking lots, which were previously restricted by a lower court order.
It's a stamp of approval from the U.S. Supreme Court on those, what we believe still are unconstitutional practices of racial profiling.
Immigration attorney Wynn Eden says this ruling reverses a lower court order filed in June that prevented racial profiling tactics to be used during the raids in Los Angeles.
This president has exercised this, what we call the shadow docket, or this emergency clause. Declaring emergencies can give him the ability to do things for fairly short periods of time.
He says this is a preliminary decision and that the litigation is ongoing. The next hearing date is scheduled for September 24th. However, this decision has raised concerns in areas of Kern County, such as Arvin, where the majority of residents are Spanish-speaking.
These are tough times. This makes the Hispanic community feel discriminated against. It's sad to see the fields empty with no workers. Who's going to work these jobs?
While the Supreme Court's ruling mainly applies to Southern California, people here are wondering how soon before it also applies in Kern County. For 23 ABC, I'm Priscilla Lara, your neighborhood reporter.
Yeah, that's deep. But they're right there in Arvin. That's a small little town.
God, sir.
And, you know, so they're gonna wipe that place clean.
God.
Yeah.
What's wild, sir, is that, you know, this is statewide. This is nationwide. You know, he wants to go to Chicago. He wants to go to, you know, anywhere. And then the fact that they try to hide it and try to say it's, you know, it's just like, once again, as stated earlier, right? They're saying that, it's just the liberals, the Democrats fear mongering, while in the same breath, they're calling it a victory for them. They're admitting that they're using these tactics to go after people.
Right.
You know, and let's see if we're just making this up, man. Look at this, sir. I'm gonna ask this question. And I'm gonna share this real quick. So my question was, does ICE target Latinos disproportionately? And this is what the overview is. It says, reports from research groups, recent court cases, and journalists indicate that Immigration and Customs Enforcement's ICE enforcement actions have disproportionately impacted Latinos. This occurs through practices such as targeting Latino neighborhoods and occupations, which can affect U.S. citizens and legal residents, as well as undocumented immigrants. Evidence of disproportionate targeting of neighborhoods and occupations. What did he say in the video? We're using articulable facts, which is where they live, what did he say, where they work, whether they speak Spanish, how they look, right? Multiple sources suggest that ICE has targeted workers in heavily Latino populated jobs and neighborhoods for arrests. An August 2025 analysis by the Cato Institute found that from January to July 2025, approximately 90% of non-criminal street arrests conducted by ICE were of immigrants from Latino America. You know what I mean? Right. So 90% are so-called Latinos.
Right.
A Los Angeles Times report detailed a lawsuit claiming ICE's 2025 raids unlawfully and racially targeted individuals in primary Latino neighborhoods like the San Fernando Valley, Pico Rivera, and Bell Gardens. Use of ethnicity as a factor, which he just said, right back to that term, articulable fact. Use of ethnicity as a factor. Courts and advocates have raised concerns that agents use perceived race or ethnicity as a basis for making stops and arrests. In a September 2025 Supreme Court dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor noted that ICE agents were seizing people based on their looks, their accents, and the fact they make a living by doing manual labor. I mean, it's right there. You know what I mean? It's like the general always says, use your Google machine.
Right.
A 2019 report cited a 2012 Department of Justice finding that a sheriff's office specifically targeted Latinos, and a 2014 study showing that a Border Patrol checkpoint in Arizona, Latino-appearing vehicle occupants were significantly more likely to be asked for identification than white-appearing occupants. Collateral arrest studies suggest that ICE's enforcement tactics, which focus on specific geographical areas or occupations, often result in collateral arrest, people who were not the original target. I mean, Salai, sir, that goes back to everyone trying to help. You know, the people that try to help those, right? Try to stop the ICE agents, you know, those who are going to run to distract the ICE agents. Wouldn't that be collateral arrest?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Often result in collateral arrests of people who were not the original target. An analysis by the Migration Policy Institute found that over 70% of those apprehended in some enhanced enforcement efforts had no prior criminal convictions, indicating that broad sweeps rather than targeted actions are taking place. Effect on citizens and legal residents. The practice of using racial profiling can cause distress and result in wrongful detention of U.S. citizens and legal residents of Hispanic descent. The risk of enforcement actions in Latino communities causes fear, which has been shown to negatively affect the well-being of families and educational enrollment rates for Hispanic youth, regardless of citizenship status. And then this is their official position, right? There's some more stuff. It says, limitations in federal data collection, comprehensive and reliable data on the race and ethnicity of those targeted by ICE are difficult to obtain, supposedly making independent analysis challenging, but it was able to show. Advocacy groups like the Black Alliance for Justice Immigration, BAJI, have accused ICE of collecting inaccurate data and misclassifying the race of detained individuals to hide racial disparities. It goes back to the smooth words, sir.
All right.
For example, a 2024 report found that at one detention facility, ICE labeled 86% of detainees as racially white. Damn, sir.
What the fuck?
Yeah, look at this. 86 as racially white, despite many being black immigrants from African and Caribbean nations. So, like you sir, because usually I teach the history class. What was that? What was what they tried to do a few years back, where they purposely try to classify Latinos as white?
I remember that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Come on, let me see if I can find that.
So when you apply that job, right?
I'm gonna look it up right now. Look at this part. The United States classified Mexicans as white due to legal implications of the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Right? What is it? He had broken his covenants.
Right.
Political advocacy from organizations like LULAC, which push for inclusion and the broader concept of Spanish European ancestry. So, like, sir, it's not a surprise that today, what's the common argument that they try to make against us? That, oh, we're really Spaniards, we're really Europeans, right? And that was done on purpose. It was done on purpose for this reason.
Right. Yeah, they're trying to give us another identity.
So that they, it doesn't. It says the broader concept of Spanish European ancestry, which many Mexican Americans shared with the dominant white population at the time. The 1930 census initially created a Mexican racial category, but this was dropped in the 1940 census following political pressure to consider Mexicans white, a classification that was supported by community leaders and organizations. legal citizenship, legal president from the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Citizenship for free white persons. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo granted citizenship to Mexicans who chose to remain in the newly acquired U.S. territory. Legal status. Also, like this is not. The treaty effectively naturalized Mexicans as citizens, which was significant because at the time only free white persons could become naturalized citizens. It was also, look, it says right here, racial and ethnic context, shared ancestry. Many Mexican Americans have both Europeans and Amerindian ancestry. In the early 20th century, the racial classification of Mexicans often leaned on the Spanish component to align them with the broader white demographic, which it was really to separate Mexicans from indigenous people is more of what the reason was. I would, a move toward assimilation. The classification as white was a political strategy to encourage assimilation and grant Mexican Americans the legal and social benefits afforded to the white population at the time. What were the benefits? What benefits did Mexicans get from this? Didn't even get any. You understand? So it goes back to why these common this is still pushed today. And it's to hide, right? It's to keep Mexicans divided. It's to keep so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans divided. It's to keep black and brown against one another, because this is one of the common, misconceptions is that majority of Mexicans are white and they're racist like white people, so we shouldn't unite with them.
Which is dumb as hell, because like even if we were considered white, right? Let's say we're white. Well, white people don't get racially profiled. You know what I'm saying? Like what's happening to us is what happens with black people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're both being racially profiled.
Stop and frisk.
You know, and I see some sisters say, I'll read a comment. Some sister says like, "Damn, what's going on with the Mexicans is what happens to black people, but except this, like what's happening with them is like on steroids."
Good
you know what
night.
I'm saying? Like, it's it's a lot more worse right now. Just at least at this moment, because they're just picking us up, like, you know what I mean, at the little food stands, going by corn, wherever, they're just going to wherever we work and wherever we live and just picking us up and taking us.
Concert.
You know what I mean?
And if I could, sir, there's another part I read on there, right, where it said ICE targets Latinos just not by looks, but something, about the accent. You understand? And the way we talk, the way Raza talks, we have an accent. So even for you light-skinned Latinos or you quote-unquote white-passing Latinos, let them hear your accent and they're going to target you too. So deep down, this oppressor knows who we are, man. They know who we are. They know what, they don't really, they use skin tone and complexion as a tactic to target us.
Right.
And to keep us divided. So sir, and I don't know how much time you have. Like I just,
Oh no, I'm about to wrap it up right now.
Nah, no sweat. I don't want to. I'm about to wrap. About to close out too. I just wanted to share one more scripture.
Oh, you got it. Go ahead.
What's the one they hunt our steps? Is that Lamentations 4:16?
Yeah, Lamentations 4:16 through 17.
Okay, God, is it? Let me see. I'm right here. Oh yeah, it's 4:17. Okay, God. All right, got it right here. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. Our eyes has yet failed for our vain help, right? This is something you should know, Raza. Karen Bass can't help you. None of these political people can help you, man. None of the Democratic Party can't do anything for you, man. And as you see, for all y'all that want to support Trump and want to think that the Republican side is the way to go, they can't help you either, man. This oppressor cannot help you. This country cannot help you. You understand? So that's just something to take a note of.
And you know, that's heavy up because, like, you know, we really believe in them. We really believe in these, like Latinos. They think that voting is what's gonna help.
Right.
You know, they think some politician, you know, we need a better politician. We need a Hispanic politician, a Hispanic judge. None of that's going to work. None of that's going to help.
Right, sir.
You know what I mean? That's the vain help it's talking about. Vain, like, it's nothing. It's not going to help you at all. You know what I mean? And I was going to point out, too, like, you got these groups out there protesting, too. You know? You got these groups protesting. You got these groups talking about revolution, you know, and, you know, one of their leaders just got busted. Right. I can't think of this cat's name. I gotta find his name. But bro, he on the left side. Like this cat's LGBTQ.
Good night.
You know, like this is the cat talking about Chicano power and revolution and, you know, Raza United. But he's a homo. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, goddamn, like, you know, like back, like I remember, like when I used to watch videos on, like, you know, on revolutionists, you know, like you got the you got like Jorge Gonzalez, yeah,
right,
Zapata, Pancho Villa, you know,
Reyes
like these were
Tijerina.
men. No, Reyes Tijerina, you know, these were men. You know what I'm saying? And, like, you know, these brothers look strong talking.
Right.
And they're trying to do the same thing. The only thing is that this cat's damn LGBTQ. So it's kind of like, damn, like, even if you was trying to go fight, you got a damn homosexual as your leader with 1,000 problems, because you know he got problems. But they're trying to make him like the face of the revolution, you know. And like he's in a car, he's in the cop car, you know. They're taking pictures of him in the cop car, and they're posting that shit all over social media. You know, and they're saying free whoever. And I think they let him out. They let him out. And he has his fist in the air. People are over there getting all fired up. It's like, come on, man, what the hell?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the damn LGBTQ done took over the whole thing. You know, you got gay revolutionaries. That's what it is. You got a gay revolutionary.
That's crazy. It's like they straight hijacked the movement.
There you go. They hijacked the movement. You know what I mean? But go ahead. I know you was breaking down the scripture. I was like,
no sweat, sir. Now you too wild. Right. It goes back, right? Because to pick up what you said, I was gonna play this clip real quick, right? Because a lot of us out there, right? Since you touched on the whole, you know, the LGBTQ movement, the LGBTQ, and you know, thinking that side is better, right? Because the Democrats back them up. That side is not any different, right? The Democratic side is not better than the Republican side. That, you know, Kamala, y'all thought it was really going to be different with Kamala Harris and her administration, right? With Biden. Let me show y'all something about the Biden administration. What happened with you know, when he was under Obama, right? The Biden administration and the Obama administration are synonymous. How many of y'all out there know the nickname that Barack Obama had? Right, that'd be my question to people out there. He was known as the deporter in chief. And let me share this real quick.
The truth is that the Obama administration has deported 2.5 million undocumented immigrants from the United States over 2 terms.
2.5 million is what Barack Obama's administration, you know, deported.
2.5 million. That's the highest number for any president ever. In fact, Obama is on course to have deported more people in his 8 years in office than all of the presidents of the 20th century combined. I guess that explains why his immigration enforcement budget in 2015 was a whopping $18 billion. That's $3 billion more than the budgets of all the other major domestic law enforcement agencies combined.
So like, sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you out.
Do you see this with Obama? The budget was $18 billion.
Right.
I didn't catch how much they wanted to give ICE now, but what it's looking like is it's always been like that. They've always given them a lot of money. You understand? But yet you saw Donald Trump and his administration blame Biden, saying that they you know weren't funding ICE enough, right? And like they were, and that they let all these people in when this administration deported more people than all the than every previous president. So those are the smooth words. Those are the words stopped in the oil, but wars in their heart. Obviously, Trump has an agenda,
Oh, damn right.
Now, the Obama administration says the vast majority of the people it deports
and look at who they're targeting.
Records, felons, threats to national security, which sounds reasonable, except that a study in 2014 found that 2/3 of deportation cases involve people who had committed minor infractions, including trafficking, or had no criminal record at all. But never forget.
Imagine that, sir. The same thing, So yeah, y'all think the Democratic Party is any better? It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. They target you the same.
Right.
Right. Left wing. Right.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, sir. What they say?
Democrat, Republican, all of them, man. They both done the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Both. What were you gonna say? You gonna say something about the
left wing, right wing? It's the same wing. It's the same bird.
Same bird. There you go. It's the same bird.
God.
Like voting is not gonna get you out of this.
Right.
Damn, voting ain't gonna get you out of this. Like we gotta get ourselves out of this, And the way you gonna get it done is by being in the UPK under Commander Yohanna. That's how we get it done. You know what I'm saying? Like we got that. You want to see how we gonna get it done, man? Make sure you show up to that barbecue.
Right.
Damn right. West Coast, you in Cali, man. Show up to that barbecue. We're gonna show you how to get it done. You just gotta pull up. Don't be scared. Just show up.
Right. Damn right, sir. And real quick, sir, I was just going to read the next verse real quick to close out. Right. Lamentations 4:18. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. And that's, it's evident, right? What this scripture is it's clear as day, to see what it's talking about. Raza, I got a question for y'all out there. Can y'all go in your streets without getting stopped by ICE? That's what they were basically saying. They can stop anybody on how they look, on where they work, how they speak. If you speak Spanish, if you look Latino, if you work at a Home Depot or you work at a spot where Latinos work, they can go over there and hunt you down. Right? Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled. For our end has come. Right? You thinking you going, to work? Little did you know that's the last day you're gonna be with your family. Present,
Damn right. You know what I mean? I remember reading this scripture at camp. I remember reading these scriptures when I first came in.
Sir.
But now that scripture really hit home now.
Sir.
You know what I'm saying? You literally cannot walk on them streets.
Right.
But like I'm saying, like if you do, it's like you gotta be head on a swivel.
Right.
You gotta have your head on your swivel. And usually, like if you like Hispanic, like you do that if you're like, involved with the streets or something like that. But not no more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Your head on the swivel. Your head is not on the swivel because you're involved with the streets. It's because this nation is trying to get you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got ICE right there trying to hunt you down, and not just you. It's your mom, your grandma, aunt, uncle, niece, and nephews that are, that are a target.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like to kind of close it out real quick, man.
Yeah, go ahead, Ottawa.
We got to close it out. You got to do what the scripture said, because remember, like there's a problem, but with every problem, there's a solution.
Right.
Commander Rihanna has a solution. We ain't got to live in fear. We ain't got to be afraid. You ain't got to run to some politician for some help. Them politicians don't live that life that you live. Like these cats live in some hill, they have their riches. They got, what I mean? They're not right here with us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, we have Commander Rihanna who understands where we come from because he is us. You know what I mean?
Damn
and
right.
You got the generals and the captains. You got officers. You got brothers right here that'll help you. You know what I mean? So I was gonna tell you, like that scripture says in Zephaniah 2:1, gather yourselves together, gather together, O nation not desired.
Right.
And
it's
what do we got to do? We got to come together, all of us. You know what I'm saying? Blacks, Latinos,
right.
It's like
no, I'll say, sir, I just add, and I think it's pretty obvious we're the nation not desired.
right. We're the nation not desired. You know what I'm saying? Not just Latinos, but this is happening too. The Haitians.
Right.
It's happening to
Right.
Haitians too.
The
Benjamites.
Jamaicans. Yeah.
Puerto Ricans. Imagine Puerto
Right.
Ricans, and they're part of the U.S.
Right.
You know,
I mean,
this is
come
happening
on,
to
man.
all of us. So it's obvious of what we got to do. We got to come together,
Right,
as a people. You know what I mean? And you know, we gotta stick together because things are about to get harder. You know what I mean? This ain't gonna slow down. This is not like a little phase that's just happening. You know, this shit gonna really pop off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they gonna hit them schools. They gonna hit your public schools and your colleges and your universities, your stores. Like you don't think they gonna hit Vallarta?
They already have, haven't they?
I'm not sure if they have, but you know what I mean? Like they gonna hit that Vallarta, they gonna hit your Hispanic church because there's Hispanic churches
so
that
like the
only
swap
speak
meet.
what?
The
Only
swap meet
speak
they hit.
Spanish.
Right.
The swap meet.
Yeah, the Santa
gonna
Fe
hit
Spring
them-
swap meet.
Con, they gonna hit the Swamis. They gonna hit the Hispanic churches, the Hispanic schools. You know, like that. That's what's gonna end up happening. You know, so but what do we got to do? We got to get together. You know,
Right.
black and brown. You know, we've been saying that for the longest. Black and brown, unite or die. You know,
Damn
we
right,
need to defend each other. We need to come together. And man, what better places to do it in the Israelite School UPK? You know what I'm saying?
Damn
Like we've been together since 1969. You
Damn
know,
right.
man, if you hear this podcast, man, you hear the show, if you know about the Israelite School UPK,
So like, sir, I think you lost the signal. It's like, I don't want you there. All right, no sweat. You know, to add to what Officer Lahab was saying, right? If y'all, you know, tuning into this podcast, make sure y'all subscribe to our channel. We got a few channels, right, to shout out. The first one is the Inconvenient Truth 1969 that you can find on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, on X. What was the other one? I think I named all of them, right? All those social media platforms. You can find also Hollywood Israelites on YouTube, ISUPK Southern Cal on Facebook, you know, which is also our Hollywood. That's our Facebook page, but it's called Southern California, ISUPK Southern Cal. Of course, ISUPK Mexico, which you can also find on all the social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, all of them, man. So those, it's ISUPK Mexico, the Inconvenient Truth 1969, and Hollywood Israelites, man, on all social media platforms, man. Subscribe, like, and share. Of course, you know, we go live when we go live. Tune in, Raza. You got any questions? Feel free to email. You know, email us. I'm gonna put the email address real quick. It's the Inconvenient Truth 1969 at gmail.com. Let me throw that up in there real quick. No, and I'm gonna share it. Oh dang, it's split. It's together. It's not separate. Let me put it. Let me put the email address right real quick. Let's see. So that's the email. Salaki is the autocorrect on this thing. Oh, now here we go. The Inconvenient Truth 1969 at gmail.com. You can type in your questions. You know, if you want more information, you know, feel free to contact us. Of course, our the pages once again, the Inconvenient Truth on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, X, Instagram. You know, if you got, like, once again, if you got any questions, want to contact us, you can reach us right there. But you know, Lord Allah will be back at it again this Saturday coming up, or you know, if I go live again during the week, you know, stay tuned, Raza. Stay tuned for cookout, which is from October 2nd to October 5th. You know, we got the West Coast Cookout coming out. You know, we got a lecture coming up with Commanding General Yohana. You know, and more things to come. So just stay tuned, Raza, and you know, come attend, man. Come see. This is where it's going to be the safe haven for our people, man. And everything that's going down, everything that's happening, the ISUPK will be the place of refuge for our people, man. When you think there's no one to turn to, you can turn to Commanding General Yohana and the ISUPK. But with that, man, we'll be back at it again, Lord allow, soon. Stay tuned, Raza. With that, man, shalom.
Batallar.
Con mi espada en mi mano, a la guerra nosotros marchamos. Nuestra muerte no será en vano. Bien valientes con nuestros mantos. Aquí nuestro general Yahana nos ordena que le echemos ganas. No corremos con ningún chavala. Nuestro chaleco es contra balas. Si quieres, juégate la suerte. Todo vato aquí es fuerte. Y en la escuela israelita no corremos con edomitas. Mi espada tu vida te quita. Puede ser que tal vez ahorita por tu vida tú me suplicas. De rodilla como señorita. Desde Texas hasta Califas, destruyendo edomitas. Aquí estamos, siempre al tiro, mirando tu último suspiro. Y esto es para que aprendas, en el mundo no hay leyendas, solo encontrarás la muerte. Juégate tu pinche suerte.